Hi, I'm Jeremy Counseller, Dean of Baylor Law School. Welcome to another edition of Counselor's Corner. And today my guest is Austin Lalomia. Austin, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you. I really appreciate being here.
So there's something in particular I want to talk to you about. But first, you grew up in Georgia, I think, and you went to the University of Georgia for undergraduate. How do you go from Georgia to Central Texas and Baylor University?
Yeah, great question. Well, when I was doing my research on law school, when I was applying everywhere, I knew that this was a great school for litigators and people who are working in trial because of practice court, what we do here. And I looked into that, and I was just like, this is the place. This is where I want to be, and I wanted to try a new state, too. It's kind of what my family does. My parents are from Michigan. They moved to North Carolina and then Georgia, so it's kind of just a part of what we do.
So moving around doesn't seem daunting to you?
No. My mom moved from Michigan to North Carolina and then Georgia, and then, she told me, if you stay in Georgia and you don't want to, I'll be mad. So I was like, all right, well, Texas it is. So
you said the litigation training was part of what attracted you to Baylor. You're a first-year law student, so you've got some time to go. But do you already know that that's what you want to do is litigation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was interesting. The DAs from Dallas came here for our professional development program, and they talked about criminal law and what they do. They're always in trial, and it just spoke to me. So it wasn't always what I wanted to do, but when I came to Baylor and did that PDP, that's when I decided.
Professional development program.
Yes.
What we call them here, yeah.
Mm-hmm. When I did that, they spoke, and it spoke to me. So
you think you might want to be a prosecutor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that connects because I also know that you're a person who service is something that's really important to you. And, of course, that would be a form of public service to be a prosecutor. Do you think that's something you'd want to be a prosecutor long-term or as a starting point? Because some people want to, become a prosecutor, then be a criminal defense attorney or a prosecutor, and then become a judge. I mean, not that you have to have your life planned out for the next 40 years, but
yeah. I think it's something long-term right now. I guess it is something long-term. It is something that I think spoke to me because fighting criminals is kind of what I've wanted to do for a long time. I read too many comic books growing up.
I was about to say, you sound like a vigilante.
Yeah, I read too many comic books growing up as a kid, and the DAs was talking about...
Are you a DC or a Marvel guy? Or both? You can be both.
Both. That's
okay.
A tough question when you've read as many as me. So
okay, favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero? Used to be The Flash, Wally West. Now it's Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Okay, you still read comic books?
When I have the time, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, you were talking about public service and fighting crime before I interrupted you. But you're saying it's a long-term thing. Why is that? Why do you think that is?
Aside from the fighting criminals thing, I want to help people. That's why I came to law school. It's what I wrote my essay about, and it's why I'm here now. I want to help people. I do that in any way I can. And I think
talk about that essay, because that your essay for admission to law school was about service. So you share some about the sort of things you said in your essay, because it apparently made a big difference. I mean, made you stand out a little bit in a good way.
Mm-hmm. It goes back to what we were saying, Spider-Man. It was about Spider-Man. Not that I am Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is a genius. I'm not that, but Spider-Man has this innate moral thing where he can't help himself but to help people. And there's a quote in the essay that is part of the Spider-Man mythos where it's, with great power comes great responsibility. I know that wasn't Spider-Man at first, but was kind of the central theme of that essay. And I think lawyers have a great responsibility, and in that they have to help people. In my mind, they have a great power, and they should use it for good. So
yeah, no, I think that's right. I mean, one of the things we say at the law school over and over and over again, whenever we get a chance with students, is students are going to go out and do a lot of different things. They're going to practice in lots of different areas, but all of them have to serve. And I think it's more than just serving a client for money. It's got to be leaving your community better, leaving your faith community better, leaving the condition of the law better than what you found it. And so I'm glad that something that's important to us resonates with you. So one of the things you have done here is you are the, I believe, newly elected president of SWO, SWO. So tell us about SWO and your role in that organization.
Yeah, of course. So SWO stands for Student Wellness Organization. We help all the students here at Baylor kind of find their niche when it comes to the student wellness. It's obviously something that is very important, especially when you're in law school. It can be challenging. It is meant to be challenging. And what we don't want at SWO, at Student Wellness Organization, is to take that much of a mental toll. And that's why I think I'm here. That's why I'm the president. We actually just put on a little lunch today for all the students.
I was going to ask about that. Talk about the lunch.
Yeah, it was fajitas and fellowship. We put it on. And I just made a little comment at the beginning about don't neglect certain things. And it can be easy to neglect certain things like eating, sleeping. So we just wanted to get a little lunch together just for people who didn't eat this morning, maybe a little breakfast. So
Fajitas for breakfast. I'm about it. I'm for it.
It was me.
I'm for it. Okay, something else. You and I have this in common. You studied abroad in Spain.
You studied abroad in Spain?
I did. So for, it was, how old am I now? Let's call it 30 years ago. I studied abroad in Spain. But so tell me about that experience, and where in Spain were you to start with?
So I started in a little town called Cádiz, and moved on from there. I was only in the south of Spain, north of Spain. I wasn't able to get to. I was also in Barcelona for a while visiting with a friend. But a lot of my friends spoke Spanish growing up, and, they always spoke Spanish with their family, so I spoke Spanish with their family growing up, and I studied it in school, so I was really excited to go. I studied linguistics there for a little bit and just had the time of my life. Spain was amazing.
Yeah. I love the food in Spain.
Interesting.
You don't like it?
I at least in the south of Spain, particularly where I was at, I had got to eat from she cooked home-cooked meals, my stay-at-home mom, who was, overseeing the whole thing. And she was a wonderful cook. But when I went out to the restaurants, I didn't find a lot of spice. They're not a spicy culture, in terms of. Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the U.S. go to Spain and think it's going to be some version of Mexico or some other country in Latin America that they're familiar with, and it's not.
No.
It's not that at all.
Right, yeah. A lot of people kind of confuse the two in terms of their food. They expect it to be similar. Mm-hmm. And the worst Mexican restaurant I've ever been to in my life was in Spain. So.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. Okay. Back to the Spider-Man, and particularly helping those who can't help themselves. And maybe this connects back to your desire to be a prosecutor, but how do you think that sort of mission statement for you, helping those who can't help themselves, is going to shape your career? How do you think that's going to affect you?
I think we actually have a great professor here. His name's Richard Alpert, and he kind of sold me on the criminal path too. And he handed me a book called When Bad Things Happen to Good People. I've been reading it, and it's wonderful. And I asked him, I went into his office, and I said, what's a good criminal law book that I should read? He was like, criminal law. And he handed me this book, and he said, if you're going to be a prosecutor, I think you should read this book. And one of my favorite books from the Bible is Job. And it was second chapter was about Job. And I think all of that ties into helping people, because criminal law, you are helping the victims find peace and justice. And I think that ties into Spider-Man too, because he helps people who can't help themselves. When bad things happen to good people, he's there. And that's kind of what I wanted to be. So
Good. Okay. Now we have come to the lightning round. They've told me. Yeah. Okay. These questions are silly, and your answers have to be short.
All right.
Would you rather explore space or the deep sea?
The deep sea, we don't know anything about it.
What's your favorite board game or card game?
Uno.
If you could only eat one cuisine, not food, but cuisine for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Italian food.
I agree. I think that's what I'd pick too.
With a name like Lalomia, you might as well.
Yeah. It's not a surprise, but I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's your favorite emoji to use, if any?
The emoji with the smiling cowboy with the cowboy hat.
Okay. What's your dream road trip destination?
The Grand Canyon.
Okay. You not been there?
No, I don't really explore the United States as much as I should. I've seen Georgia, I've seen Texas, I've seen Michigan.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. What's a movie that you can watch over and over and over again?
A Few Good Men.
Good one. How many times do you think you've seen that movie?
I used to have it memorized for a while, well over 30 times, I think. It's a little ridiculous on my part, but.
Okay. If you could be on any game show, which one would it be?
The Price is Right.
I like that. I like that because you have two opportunities to win.
Mm-hmm.
You can lose the first game and still win the whole showcase showdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite spot to study? Is it in the library, coffee shop, or somewhere else?
There's actually a diner in town, Black Bear Diner. I walk in and they say, "Hey, Austin." And I'm like, "How's it going?" And then they show me to my diner table and they say, "Usual thing, usual spot." And I said, "Yeah."
Where's the Black Bear Diner? I've not been there.
I'm bad at road names. I'm still getting used to Waco. It's right near the Top Golf, I guess, right next to the highway. And I walk in and they all know me. It's like a episode of Cheers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll keep you coming back. If people know you and greet you and you don't have to spend time ordering because they already know.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand you have some questions for me or a question for me.
Yeah, so my question, in our exam prep session for civil procedure, which you teach, obviously, for those who don't know on the podcast, you tell us to slay the dragon, which is to mean state your conclusion before you get on with the rest of your essay. What is a legal dragon you have had to slay in your career?
Well, first of all, on the slay the dragon in the context of an answer to a law school essay, I think if the conclusion is clear, you shouldn't beat around the bush about it. You should just state the conclusion. A lot of times there's uncertainty and we have to qualify and that sort of thing. But I do think that's a good thing. If you can slay the dragon, answer the question up front. A legal dragon that I have slayed in my career, I've had victories and I've definitely had defeats. I sometimes joke in class that I'm the only law professor at Baylor that's ever lost a case, but that's not true. And frankly, most of us are pretty open about, this was a victory, this was a defeat. Some of them I don't know that I can even talk about. I mean, it's just stuff that happens behind the scenes, and it's just confidential and everything. But I think the thing that I am proudest of in my life is not professional victories. I'm proud of the team here at the law school. I'm very proud of our staff. I'm proud of our faculty. I think they do a great job. And so I didn't achieve that. I didn't achieve that. That's been true long before I was the dean. But if I can, one thing that's true at Baylor Law School is I can go to anybody in the building, somebody who just joined the team, and say, what's the number one thing? And they will say some version of it's the students. And the thing I want to achieve, the dragon I want to slay, or that's kind of where the metaphor breaks down, is I just want that to be true whenever it is that I'm done being dean. And I didn't do that, but I want to preserve that. I want to steward that. And But the thing that I'm most proud of is my family. I'm most proud of my family. It's not that we're perfect. I mean, we are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm proud of what my wife and I both are proud of what our kids have done and are doing and are trying to do, and so that's the thing that I, if somebody said, what have you not messed up, I would say it's my family. So, but everybody wants to. I think everybody wants to slay a dragon, but I just don't look back. I don't look back and go, man, I slayed that dragon.
Right.
Just don't do that. So,
yeah, that's probably a better way of looking at it.
Have you slayed any dragons, you think, since you started law school?
Not physically.
Things you're proud of?
Oh, yeah. Things I'm proud of. Yeah, I was in a charity boxing event, and
Were you a boxer? Were you a pugilist in this deal?
Pugilist.
A fighter? Were you fighting in a?
Oh, yes. I was in I stepped in the ring. I fought, trained for about.
Wait, is this connected to Baylor? Is this a Baylor Law event?
No. This is a UGA fraternity event.
Oh, okay, good.
So it's
good.
It's not Baylor Law
Excellent.
related at all.
Excellent.
That's a good disclosure for the podcast.
Excellent. I was going to say I might have learned something I must act upon here in the podcast. Austin, thanks for coming on. It's great talking to you, and good luck in the rest of law school. You're going to do great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Austin.